Hello all, welcome to CyberCreate, and today in this video we are basically going to solve one of the most asked interview question, but it is just a bit changed part of it. Like the 2Sum problem that you might have heard is very common problem which is asked anywhere in any technical interviews. But today we are going to solve another question known as 3Sum. Not that 3Sum, but the problem name itself is 3Sum. So we are going to see the most optimal approach to solve this problem. So let's get right into the video, and well, if you are new to our channel, a sub to the channel will be appreciated. So once you are subscribed to our channel, let's start this video. So the first thing after seeing any question is to basically try to understand what this question is asking us to do. So what this question is basically telling us is that you are basically given an array. So let me just open up my editor. So let's say you are given a list of array or list of numbers, and the numbers can either be positive or it can be negative too. And then what you have to do, so here you can read the question. Given an array, you have to find three numbers from this given array such that they sum up to 0. Means after adding all the three numbers from this array, they have to give 0 as a result. So how you can do that? That is basically in this question. And once you find out like what are all those three numbers after adding which we are getting 0, we can just simply print that numbers. Like here you can see that after adding -1 plus -1 plus 2, so -1 will be -2, and -2 plus 2 is cancelled out to be 0. And in the next example also you can see -1, 0 and 1. So -1 and 1 will give 0, and 0 plus 0 is 0. So this question is basically asking us to find the three pair or triplets of the number which is going to give the sum of 0 after adding it. And there is one more constraint in this question, is that this pair should not be repeated. Means you cannot give -1, 2, and then you can also say -1, 2, -1. So this case should not be done. There should not be any repetition of the same pattern. So I think we are clear with the question. So once we are clear, we can move right into the question. So let's just start with most naive way. So what will be the most likelihood or most easiest way to solve this problem? We can use one loop just to test this first number, and the second loop should start from this second number, and the third loop should be starting from this third number. So what we can do next is, like, we took -1 in our first loop, and we are going to check with -1, and next loop we took 0, and then what we can do, and then we are going to take the third loop as 1, and then we are going to check if I, j plus k. Let's say the first loop is I, the second loop is j, and the third loop is k. If on adding both I, j and k we are getting 0, then it's fine, or else move forward. So first we will select -1, and then we will select 0, and then with -1 and 0 we are going to check all the numbers, like all the numbers ranging from 1 to 4. Like first we will say check -1 plus 0 plus 1, is it 0? Yes, it is. So we are going to simply add it in our list. So we are going to take one list of answers. So let's say it is our answers array. So this is our answer array, in which we are simply going to keep on adding all the three numbers that we are going to get as 0. And then what we are going to do, and then we will basically move forward with 2. Is -1 0? This is fixed because we are using two loops. The only thing that is changing is the last line. So then we are going to check with 2. Is -1 0, or 2 is going to give us 0? So it is not. Then it is going to check -1, 0 and -1. So is it going to give us the same result? So it is going to give the same result, like -1, 0 and -1 is also going to give us 0. But you can see that the time complexity of this problem is going to be like n cube, and keep power 3. So this is not the most optimal approach to solve this problem. So what we can do, let me explain you the most optimal approach to solve this problem. So for applying our most optimal approach, the first thing that we need to do is to basically sort our array. Because once the array is sorted, we know that the first number is the smallest number and the next number is going to be the greatest number. So we can use the property of sliding windows algorithm, or we can say that the two-pointer algorithm, to solve this problem. So the first loop, what it is going to take, the first loop, let me is going to point, let me wait a sec. So what you are going to do, you are going to take this first number in the two-pointer algorithm. So let's say our array is sorted. So what will happen after sorting this? So our array will look something like -1, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 4. So then what we can do, then we can just use our first pointer at this -1, and then we can use our second pointer here. And then we are going to use our second pointer at the very end of our array. And now we are going to check if with this combination is our number 0. So what will be the answer? Like -1 -1 is going to give -2, and this is going to give us 4. So is -1 plus 2? So -2 plus 4 is equal to 0. So the answer is no. The answer we are getting is 2. So it is greater than our 0. So in that case, what we are going to do? We are simply going to move our second pointer forward. So this left pointer will be moved from here to here. So now our one pointer will be pointing at 0, and the last one will be at 4. So -1, 0, and 4. So this combination will also fail, and the answer that we are going to get is all 3. So 3 is already greater than 0. Then we are again going to move our pointer to 1, and then we are going to keep on checking like this. So so this algorithm, first of all, we are basically sorting. So it is going to take n log n time, and then we are basically using two loops. So n log n is just for sorting, but when we are using two loops, so first loop is simply going to go through all our numbers till length -2. So it is basically going to get till 2. And then the second loop, which is basically our two-pointer loop, is going to start from this 0 and this 4. So this time complexity will be n square. So in n log n and n square, the greater is n square. And that is why the time complexity of this solution is going to be n square. So I think we have discussed like how we are simply going to solve this problem. And one more thing is important here is to remove the duplicates. So removing duplicates, what we can do, we can simply make use of the set property. So as you know that if you are in like Python, you have a set which contains no duplicate. So we can just simply remove duplicates with the help of that. If you are in any language like C++ also have sets, or has map, or Java also have your map, so or set also, so you can use them. But here we are simply going to use our Python set. So let's move on to our solution. So as we have discussed, the first thing that we need to do is to basically sort our array, because sorting is going to decrease our time complexity, and this question is basically working perfectly fine. And then we are creating our answer array. So in answer array, we are simply going to keep on appending all the values that we are getting, like first number, second number, third number whose sum is 0, that will be stored in this answer array. And then we have check set. So here we are creating a check, which is basically a set which we are basically going to use for removing the duplicates from our array. So next, what we are going to do next, as we have told, we have to iterate through all the numbers in our array, just length -2. Why length -2? Because length so let's say your array is of 3 length, 1 2 3. So your indexing basically starts from 0 1 and 2. So in normal case, what we do, we just go till length -1. But here we are using two pointer algorithm, which is just inside this loop. So that pointer will cover this last number, and that is why we are not covering that. That is why we are using length minus 2, because this last digit number is basically covered with our inner loop, the two pointer loop, because that is already pointing to the last of the element. So we want to go one less than the last of the element, and that is why we are using length minus 2. So here you can see we are going to length minus 2, and then here we are just using variable names like first, second and third, so that the naming is a bit more easier. And then we are using left is equal to I plus 1. So as we have told, the first pointer will be here. So let me just change the color. So the first pointer will be here. So if the I was this, then this second pointer, the left one will be I plus 1, because it should be 1 after that, because we don't need to take this again and again, because if you are going to take, there is no sense of taking it, just to be sure. So you are not going to take minus 1 and minus 1. It does not make sense, and that is why we are not taking it. We are just taking 1 after that. And then again, what we are simply doing is we are assigning our right pointer to the very last element of our array. So it will be length of num minus 1, and then we are iterating through till length and still left and right, both the pointer does not collide each other or just does not transposes each other. And then we are creating our second. Like, what is the second number? Second is equal to nums of left. So nums of left means this. So we are taking this number here, and we are taking third variable in which we are taking of right, like nums of right. So nums of right will be this last index, and it will be 4. And then we are checking if first plus second plus third. So here what it means, here it is checking if minus 1 plus 4 is equal to 0. Then what we have to do, so let's just skip for that. First let's see if they are, what will happen if it is greater than 0, because here in our example first it will encounter greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, what we are going to do, we are going to just decrement this 4 pointer just little back. And if it is greater, so let's say if the sum is less, then we are simply going to increment our I pointer forward. And that is how our loop is basically going to work. But what happens when both of them matches? Like we are at minus 1 and minus 1, 0 and minus 1. So in that case, we have to move both our pointer, like left will be moving 1 step forward and right will be moving 1 step backward. So when they both are equal to 0, we are simply moving left and right both at same time. But here is the trick part. So here we are creating a temp which is just storing all our numbers. So this, and we are just using a tuple. So if you are familiar with Python, you may be knowing this data structure. This is tuple that we are using, first, second and third, just to make sure that this is just so that we can insert this inside our set, and we can keep on checking that if this set is already present in our array or not, because here it's strictly told we don't want any duplication. And if it is not in check, means we are not repeating the array, then and only then we are appending all the 3 numbers, first, second and third, into our array. And if it is there, we are simply not adding the number. And here once it is done, once the number is added to our array, we are simply adding it to our set, and that is what is basically used to remove the duplicates. So you can if you know the property of set, the lookup time is constant. So here not in is just performed in constant time, which is just big of 1 time, and that is why this program is basically working. You can just click on submit code, and you can see that I have tried, failed many times, time limit exceed error, I don't know why. So you can see that now our code is working perfectly fine. I have changed nothing. So sometime the test cases passes, sometime the test cases fails. So you can just pay close attention, nothing on the code is basically changed, but I don't know why this happens from LeetCode. So same code, let's try one more time to submit without doing any sorts of change. So sometimes LeetCode keeps on generating different types of basically the test cases, and that's why sometimes your code is much faster and sometimes your code is much slower. So that is completely random, you can't do much about it. But according to me, this is the most optimal approach that I come up with. And if you have any doubt or you even have any better solution of this, you can just post in the comment. You can join our Discord server, you can join our Telegram group, whatever you have, you can join us and basically comment me. I'll be ready to help you. I just reply each and every comment, and I try to help as many people as possible. So you can contact me anywhere. And if you have stick to the end of the video, I am basically going to keep on adding more questions. And if you are watching this end of video, you should get some credit. And the credit is that you can just comment down what problem next you want me to create a video on, and I will create a clear explanation of that problem. The problem can be anywhere, or it can be of any data structure and algorithm type, or it can be data science, or any topics from Linux. So that is it for this video. So thanks for watching, and I will meet you in the next video.